you were in OVW for
Yeah.
many years, like one of the first, I believe, to be in the actual territory. Tell me about that, what that experience was like, and I think you also signed with WWE for a developmental deal.
Yeah. We were a wild bunch, and there was so much talent there that got overlooked that should have gotten signed that didn't. But
Hmm.
there was tons of talent that made guys look better than what they were.
I mean, it was a who's who of people that were there. I'm talking about John Cena, Batista, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Nick Dinsmore, Eugene was there, Rob Conway, the Bashams, uh, just a who's who, Shelton Benjamin. I mean, you were like with the elite class of people that went and became stars.
And
Um,
I was there before all of them except for Doug. Doug Basham was there, and it was Doug Basham to me, and then the rest of them started coming in.
and you were there when it first opened.
I was there when it was Danny Davis School of Professional Wrestling,
Hmm.
and then whenever some things have happened, then they ended up becoming Ohio Valley Wrestling, and that's when you got the television deal and all that, and it took off. It
Oh,
really took off after I left.
how
Shoot,
long? How?
I was there, right place, wrong time.
Hmm. How long were you there for?
For OVW,
Yeah.
shoot, whenever OVW started, I can't remember the year that it actually started, but I was there until July of nine '03. No, of '02.
So you were
And then
there.
I went to Puerto Rico. I went to TNA after that. Then I went to Puerto Rico.
Okay. Well, what was it like working with a lot of those talents? Because I mean, they became huge.
Uh, well, that's where like independent wrestling people don't get it. I mean, take a look at it now. When we had independent shows there for OVW, imagine going to an independent show and you're paying $10 a ticket or whatever, and you've got Brock Lesnar, Shelton, you got all those guys, Orton, Cena, so you got Batista. Every one of these guys are on this independent show, and you can meet every one of these guys. And now you go to independent wrestling doesn't get enough credit because that's where guys are found. So you could have went to an independent show back then and seen all these guys and met them pretty easily. And but people don't. They look at wrestling. It's just basically WWE or AEW, which
Well, you got to think about this too. I mean, CM Punk eventually went to OVW, and he took off. For
well
all intents and
he'd been
purposes.
around for a while also. He
Right.
worked in the Indies and
Right. But I'm talking about in terms of making that jump from the indies to OVW and then eventually hitting the big time in WWE. I mean, and uh was Daniel Bryan in no, he wasn't in OVW. He was in
no,
Memphis. He was
Brian,
in
he was in
he
Memphis.
was in Memphis.
Yeah.
But, same thing. I mean, those guys went from the indies to developmental. They had to learn a whole new thing, and then they made that jump to the main roster and they became stars. It's amazing to see the progression of tomorrow's stars that eventually become the stars of the present. And I feel like developmental is supposed to be that. Were you expecting to be signed at a certain point with the company?
I went out there and I was trying to get signed, and I they had me going out there. I was the show stealer and all this. The man loves to steal the show, and I was going out there just bashing WWE because they brought Rico Constantino in, and I got stuck working with Rico, and Rico had tons of talent. He just didn't know when to do moves, but he could do all kinds of stuff. So I did a thing where we had a tag match where we were winning the match, and Rico throws the guy over the top rope, and we get disqualified. And so we did a promo, and I'm like, I just came out here to let you know I will never ever team with you again. You've got to be the dumbest guy in the world, not knowing the rules. It's like the WWF only hires stupid green guys. So that's where we went from there, where with me against Cornette and WWE. And so I was bashing everybody. The whole thing was, oh, WWE hires you. What about me? Basically, I'm doing the whole thing trying to get myself noticed. Why can't I get a job? And all these other guys are getting hired. And then me and Dinsmore got signed at the same time, but mine was kept hush. The whole thing, because so I keep my gimmick going. So then they brought Jericho in, and I worked with Jericho, and I put the title on the line for a contract. And if I could beat him, the WWE would sign me. Well, as soon as we locked up, my tricep popped. I tore my tricep as soon as we locked up, and I was in so much pain. And I kept telling myself, like, man, this can't happen now. And we went and did some move, and it got screwed up. And I rolled out to the floor, and I'm trying to think. Now we're calling this all on the fly, and like, man, I go, I'm hurt bad. I can't do anything with my arm. And I figured if I got my adrenaline going, I could block it out and go and deal with it. So I told the referee, go tell him to come get me. So he came and got me, and then we started. We just, boom, started going at it hard. And in the match, if anyone's ever watched the match, seen it, every time I'm doing a move and I got to catch myself, you can see the pain in my face was when I'm landing, catching myself with my arm. It was hurting.
Hmm.
But Jericho put me over, and then the next night, Kevin Kelly he comes out there and announces that because of my victory, that WWE signed me to a developmental contract. And so I'm jumping up and down, and actually the crowd started cheering me. They were happy, like finally. And here I was a heel, and they were all excited that I finally got signed because they wanted to see. They thought I deserved it, and I went out there and I'm yeah, this is great. I can't wait till this Monday. I'm gonna go out there and beat Steve Austin, blah blah blah. And then I snatched Kevin Kelly because Kevin Kelly goes no, or it was Kevin Kelly or Bruce Pritchard. But they were like, no, Flash, you don't understand. You're under developmental contract. I'm like, yeah, that's right. You're developing new stars. I'm the new. I'm playing off like I'm an idiot. Yeah, you're developing the newest star. I can't wait till this Monday. I want to win the title and all this. It was no developmental means you're signed, but we're keeping you down here in the developmental territory until we think you're ready. And I'm like, what? And I snatched him by the jacket, and when I snatched him, it hurt so bad.
Uh,
And so we did an angle where Doug Basham came out, swung the chair, and he hit my arm. But instead of like I had my arm to my side where I gave him my arm, he hit me right in the side of the head, got my ear. I
ooh.
thought he ripped my ear off. And
Jeez.
so then because they were just going to announce that I lost the title someplace, some unknown town. But I go, no, I'll go out there. I'll drop the title. And so we went out there, and I dropped the title. Then would have surgery. And my first match back, I was on the road with a WWE. We did a show in Evansville, a house show, and me and BJ Payne worked with Randy Orton and Mark Henry. And then went back to OVW, did that until July. I got the phone call that I was being released.
Oh man, that sucks. Because it seemed like you were on a roll.
Never fails. Story of my life.
Nah. You know, sometimes you just got to pick yourself back up and keep going again. So